So thank you so much for joining us. Celeste, do you want to say anything right off the bat? I know this is my spot, but you've done so much.
It's
No,
all yours.
it's all mine. It's all
Thank you.
mine. This is, as our teacher Thich Nhat Hanh would say, this is a legendary moment. This was, my husband had very few things on his bucket list that were left to do, and this was one of them, was to share this body of work that has been a part of his teaching. So I'm so grateful that you can be here together as we celebrate Larry and all of us. So we collected a few amazing people. The route is pretty simple. We're going to begin and end with our dear friend Joe Riley, who will offer music and prayers and blessings, because we really want to launch this book out. We've been calling it the book launch. So Joe will, you'll see Joe at the beginning and at the end. And we're going to have a section on who is Larry, a little bit of a description where we'll have Camilla, who wrote some prose about Larry, and then Norma Bradley, who wrote some haiku. And then the story behind the book, where Karen and Grace will come forward. Beth Howard has a beautiful song, Alone Again, one of Larry's favorites. And then we're going to get into the poetry readers. So I'll be introducing them at the end as we look at gratitude. But we've a beautiful collection of readers, folks that have loved Larry's poetry and that we know wanted to share a special poem. That was the only hard thing for some of the folks here. It was hard to pick one. So as we get going, if you have any tech challenges, look for the Lotus Institute on the name. Matt's here and Celeste is here to help. And yeah, so any challenges, just let us know or let them know, and then we'll do what we can. And we're going to get going with prayers and blessings and our dear friend Joe Riley.
Good evening, dear beloved community, dear Ty, dear Sangha, dear Peggy, dear Larry. Joe Riley bowing in. Buju, Gitawe Nigamad and Dishnakas, Cherokee Choctaw Indao, Maingan Dodam, Wawa Atanong, and Donjaba. My name's Joe Riley. My indigenous name means the one who sings around. I'm Cherokee and Choctaw and also Italian and Irish. Belong to the Wolf Clan, and I live here in Detroit, which is Anishinaabe land, and that's the language I introduce myself in. I would like to start with a smudge, which is a spiritual cleansing and presencing from our indigenous teachings, and a song. And the song will be the Creator Song, which was given or shared with me by a singer named Maggie Paul.
And walked in, and it was so packed full and crowded. The only place I could sit was in the kitchen on the floor. And what I heard was Larry singing Amazing Grace. And it just took my heart. And so this week I actually wrote two haikus, short haikus, that are reflected from that experience. True great sound, amazing grace. True great sound, amazing grace. The next one. True great sound, teacher from the other side. True great sound, teacher from the other side. Next, silence, a doorway to thanks. Silence, a doorway to thanks. And the last one comes straight from our practice and from Thai. While the clouds turn into rain, the lily blooms. While the clouds turn into rain, the lily blooms.
Camilla. I think you're muted still. Oh, there you are.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for that beautiful poem. It's so beautiful. And the beautiful everything that's preceded. Shall I read from Morning Night? Is that what
I
I'm
want you
reading?
to read your poem that you wrote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your poem about Larry.
His poetry is so much better, but yes, I will read that one for you. Just give me 10 seconds to get to it. Been reading one of Reverend Dr. Ward's poems every uh, every other day or so, and it's just become part of my practice. So uh, here is a poem that I wrote about Reverend Dr. Ward in tribute. A song for Reverend Dr. Ward. You love the natural world and returned us to the trees and seas, encouraging us to take our woes to the woods, to breathe this gift of air into our burdens, lifting them to fly aloft on the winds of transmutation. You encouraged us to plant seeds of kindness and courage always, emerging from the earth in this lifetime as a Black bodhisattva, an African ancestor carrying the djembe of justice in your jaw. You are forever an exemplar of Aditana. As you endured a lifetime of racism with Upeka in a way that showed us how to face this world before us now. Like Venerable Vimalakirti, you used illness as a symbol of what could be transcended. Laughing with us in joie de vivre, you were triumphant over the pains racking your body. You knew yourself to be a sacred being first, one whose spirituality could not be confined to only one religious understanding of our limitless capacities. You knew that enlightenment is augmented by knowledge of all spiritual paths. As a teacher, your range was vast. You could tie the bell chant to bell hooks. You eased our souls, even in silence, with your very being, grounded in your Dharma body. You exuded compassion, embodying the inherent compassionate life force of the universe itself. Reverend Dr. Ward, you were a sagacious sovereign who ruled over his own mind and heart. What a wonder that is, to be the master of your own life through countless moments of skillful self-regulation. You defeated racism with your heart. You defeated greed with your soul. Our friend, this king, has won, and his victory shines right there. See it? It's the light flickering through the tears in our eyes. May we weep always with joyful remembrance, refreshing ourselves in the rivers of wisdom you led us to.
Beautiful poetry. Thank you so much. Dear Ty, dear Suko, Chankang, dear Larry, dear Peggy. My name is Karen Hillsberg. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I live on the unceded land of the Tongva and Gabrielino peoples, also known as Culver City, California. I had the blessing to be a student and friend of Larry and a former member of the Lotus Institute board for 10 years. After I retired from my day job, I began traveling around the country, attending retreats with Peggy and Larry. In 2019, during a retreat in Estes Park, Colorado, Larry began one of his Dharma talks with a poem based on a dream that he had had the night before. As usual, I was blown away by his poetry and the immediacy of the poem and the Dharma that he shared. After the talk, I waited in the hallway outside the assembly room to speak with Larry. As he walked toward me, I bowed to him and said, "Your poetry is very powerful. When and if you are ready to compile a book of your poetry, I would like to volunteer to help you with that." Larry's only response was, "I'm ready." That conversation was the beginning of a 6-year journey of culling Larry's poems from his journals and talks, typing them up, conferencing with Grace Franklin, and putting them into a draft form of a poetry book that grew into the book that you are hopefully holding in your hands. I'm grateful to have been there at the conception of this book and along the way. Countless friends and students have assisted in the long journey of getting this book published, and I offer my thanks and gratitude to all. I was so very pleased to receive an email in June from Larry informing me that the book was in final draft form and that it would be published soon. He sent me a file of the cover and the book, and I felt such sympathetic joy and pleasure to see that his dream has come true. I know how much this project meant to him, and I'm very grateful that he was able to see it completed.
Karen had access to Larry's journals. He used to joke in some of his talks that he wrote poems on napkins and on the back of pieces of paper. And his writing, I love him, but it was somewhat illegible. So congratulations, Karen, for deciphering that. I got started with Larry and Peggy back in 2006, and it was like just instant. You know the word sukha? When we talk about the Vedanas and the affective images or feelings we get, positive and negative, it was instant sukha. I just was drawn to these words, the talks, the presence of Larry and Peggy. And I'm also a little bit like a magpie. I like shiny things. I'm a librarian. I like to collect things. And these poems that I started transcribing his talks just as a personal practice. And I see some of my friends from Oklahoma, they had been recording Larry's talks. I got those talks. We got talks from Oregon and Indiana. And so I'm just like archiving because it's fun and it's nourishing me. And every now and then Larry at a retreat, he came to Ohio for like 15 years. He and Peggy led retreats for us. And there would be a gentle nudge. I didn't know he had made a commitment to you, Karen. That was a surprise what you shared. But anyway, I would be nudging, volunteering, and saying, let us know, we're ready to go. And we did start to work very seriously together back in the very beginning of 2021. And Karen brought the ones from the journals. I brought the ones from lots of different retreats, and we had a blast, collating and figuring out themes or these themes. And thank goodness Liz took care of all of that for us at the end. There was one poem in particular, and it's not in the book, but it was a poem that he read at a retreat rather early in my career. It was February of 2008 in Ohio. And Peggy wasn't there because she was in chaplain training, as I recollect. So you were somewhere in the hospital area. but it was called The Invitation, and it started out, the theme of the retreat was the Bodhisattva path. And he started out with this poem on the last day of the retreat, saying he hadn't been writing poetry for decades, and all of a sudden this urge is coming, and he's writing. And he said he didn't want to think about how long ago it was because it would make him feel old. But he said, I join my hands and pray for Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in every space and time to arise in this desperate hour. This is 2008, and it's an even more potent invitation now. He was inviting us to find the inner light, the courage that he had, that Camilla described so beautifully in your poem. Camilla, bravo, thank you. Make that a note, send it to everyone, please. Please. Larry was an incredible inspiration in my life and our lives. And bottom line for me, it was fun to work on this project, and I wanted to help Larry.
Hello, dear friends. Larry gifted this song to me by playing a video before a Dharma talk at a retreat in Colorado. And I'd like to pass that gift back to Larry and to all of you. Alone again, I'll go on with bent head, but no wing. The immortality of love, and on the long rough road, both sun and moon will shine. Promise me this day, while the sun is just overhead. Even as they strike you down with a mountain of hate and violence, remember, brother, man is not our enemy. Just your pity, just your love, invincible, limitless. Hatred will never let you face the beast in man. And one day, when you face this beast alone, your courage intact, your eyes kind, out of your smile will bloom a flower. And those who love you will behold you across 10,000 worlds of dying and birth. Alone again, I'll go on with bent head, but no wing. The immortality of love, and on the long rough road, both sun and moon will shine, lighting my way. Ooh.
Morning Night is divided into 3 sections. The first section, Spirit Finding My Way Home. The first section illuminates the importance of a spiritual life of practice that cultivates insight into our non-separation and warmth of compassion for all beings. The theme of spirit cultivates a sense of mindfulness toward lived experience, creating a path to wholesome happiness, self-transformation, and social justice. The second section, Race Clouds Over the Moon. These poems rise from Larry's awareness of his historical racial position. They explore how the fabrication of race as the essence of identity has perfumed our social fabric and had a systemic impact on daily life. Our shared humanity is often lost in the social impact of racialized consciousness. And the last section, Nature, Light in the Forest. This section explores intimate experiences with the natural world of which we are all an integral part. The natural world provides a mirror for the mysterious human experiences of living, aging, and dying. These poems reflect an experience of non-duality, illuminating the shared nature of what appears both inside and outside of us, and celebrating our connection with nature. Now you'll hear a variety of poems drawing from all 3 themes: spirit, race, and nature.
A poem by Reverend Dr. Larry Ward. Peace. May I be on even terms with all that exists and does not exist, in touch with the original breath for all my days. May I be on even terms with original breath as I walk among that which exists and does not exist in every moment. In this way, I may realize the liberation of my heart and mind as I attend the funeral of all my sorrows. At home there is calm, still certainty. In peace, I am undisturbed by the coming and going of things great and small. Ah, the breath of equanimity. And so being moved, compassion, joy, loving kindness are my companions, life after life. Blessing the world I see, I see, I see. The Buddha smiled.
Moonlight of true love. Maybe it has been a while since you've been to your garden. Maybe it has been covered over with weeds of pain, disappointment, or grief. Maybe it has been hidden from sight by your busyness, anxiety, or momentary excitement. Even if it seems barren, its appearance, though real, is false. Look, your garden is always full of seeds, waiting to be touched by love's moonlight, revealing the beauty of the night sky. Moonbeams caress treetops, nourishing the earth with drops of dew. Lighting our way in the dark, the path of meditation opens my heart. The invitation to love, non-fear, kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity is present in this very moment. This is the moonlight of true love.
Sit with me. Where are you running to, my friend, with your mind dizzy with the things of the world and your stomach bloated from too much? Please stop. Come home. Sit with me in the cool night air. Listen to the sound of the garden trees and the silence of the night. See the miracle of the spider web in front of your face, with its luminous lines connecting heaven and earth. Relax and enjoy your breathing. One day, everything we see, touch, feel, and imagine will all disappear. Smile while you are in the here and now. Let all of your worries and fears float down the river of tears. No need to cling, fluttering in the wind as prayer flags.
Not I. When the mirror no longer sees me smiling, I'm gone. But the not I remains. Fire, water, earth, air, light, dark stars. Light galaxies, causes, conditions, mystery, vivid memories, touches, voices, smiles, faces of meaning, smells of delight, all streams of mind, heartbreak too. I am moved in every raindrop, in everything. I look for you, so we can still meet in the silence of the moment. And then I'm going to read one more that's not in the book. It's called For You. A poem for you. Maybe it's because I'm 70 years old. Maybe it's because I'm young and I see the Alpha and Omega of all things. I say that each of us are called to shake the temples of heaven and earth as we reconstruct the sanctuary of our hearts and minds. Fill this sanctuary, however small, however mundane, with the thunder of fierce equanimity, the wind of compassion, the fragrance of justice, with the elegance of joy, with the grace of bravery, and the sweetness of love. Remember, no birth and no death hide in all phenomena, including all things that come into the experience of your body and mind. Be not afraid. Flee not. Despair not. Fall deeper into the depths of awakening of your precious humanity as you stand up in the house of belonging.
Look, listen. Companions of my suffering are the gateway to my healing transformation. Not to be hated, feared, or clung to, but stirred wisely as ingredients into the new soup of my precious life. It is here now, always the glorious sunlight, gentle morning breeze. Forgiveness is the fabric of nature. The river flows on, carrying the past, but letting it go at the same time. Look, listen. Listen to the bird song. The frogs at the pond are dancing, dancing in the moonlight and calling your name, your name, your name, echoing across the starry night sky. One more selection. Somebody stole my face. It's my face, man. I tell you, somebody stole my face. I can't seem to stop the river of regret. Black face on the ground, black face in cages, black face in chains, black face, no fun. I tell you, somebody stole my face. When I found it, it was dark, like the night's elegant beauty. When I found it, it was in a dreadful theater called The White Man's Burden. When I found it, it was already condemned to live in a basket full of lies. I tell you, somebody stole my face, my precious face. I hold it in my hands, catching tears of sorrow and joy. I hold it with the kind hands of my ancestors. I hold it turning into many faces, appearing across time and space. I hold it dancing with the cosmos. In this face, the door of eternity swung open. I tell you, somebody stole my face. But I have a secret for you, my friend. Somebody stole your face too. I know you've been searching for it. It's in the time before time. Embrace your wholeness. Lift yourself and all the rest of us to higher ground. And remember, every time you touch your face, George Floyd can no longer have that joy.
An incomplete story. Such a beautiful, incomplete story. America, made of dreams and suffering, no escape. Many elements that make us great. Adapt America, let the frozen places in us melt. Never without talent, land of fresh ideas, make the impossible possible. Identity trapped in cycle. Belonging and othering, are we cursed?
Ships of perfume. The world has been perfumed by white supremacy. A trail of blood and gold holds suffering in conquest, refuses to cross mercy's bridge. Conditioned not to be together, we stand now before a chasm of growth or death, out of alignment with our true humanity. This is our reckoning. Learning to raise each other up like flowers, opening stories of our lives. We recognize the good crossing mercy's bridge. Our retribution is that we live with a tragic legacy, a costly story that does not tame the beast within. Being a human being is to tame that beast. The wheel of America's racial karma is turning, if you have eyes to see. Our racialized consciousness continues our tragic, toxic tale, mixing rage and sadness and ancestors' blood that is America's racial karma. we still can witness this suffering. If one of us gets sick, we are all infected. If one of us gets well, we are all healed.
When I became currency. When they came from me, I tried to contain my fear. Heartbreak rattled my bones. These bones longed for home, but the dance of my ancestors is still awake and alive. Sick in the bottom of a ship, becoming a dark currency, carried over sea, sold and sold again, a commodity, body of profit driven by greed, arrogance, and ignorance. Cold and beleaguered in a new land, I tried to forget such horror. But the looks and the whispers, even to this day, remind me I am a class of color created by a colonial mind. That was missing its own self-worth. I live now beyond such limiting constructs of mind. I am free because I am not confused. I am stardust awake. I am the earth and the sky embracing all. I ride the wind with the eagle and the hawk. I flow with the rivers into all oceans. I touch the sun, and I am touched by the moonlight, like all beings. I am nature herself, awake, powerful, resilient, generative. I offer the love of all my ancestors to your ancestors and the ancestors of all beings. I offer my presence like falling rain on the wise and the unwise, the troubled and the untroubled, the just and the unjust. May wounds of time be healed.
Hi, everyone. So I'm a student at the University of Toronto, and it's such an honor to be able to add a couple of my words to all of the incredible words that are already in the air. I'm a student of Ellie Weisbaum's, who I know herself was a friend, colleague, and mentee of Larry's. So I fall within the ancestry of his teachings. But I never actually had the opportunity to meet Larry. In fact, perhaps somewhat peculiarly, this book of poetry was my meeting with Larry because I was invited to review an early version of the book and provide some of my reactions and my experience practicing with these poems. And I reflected on this unconventional meeting with someone, and two things really stand out for me. Firstly, the interaction itself, the fact that Larry valued young people's opinions, to me is an indicator of like foresight. As a young person, I know that when I'm involved in conversations and decision making, not to or not that we have the experience to have final say, but even to have a say, it makes it feel less like a burden to inherit the world and more like maybe a joy, and that there's solidarity along intergenerational scale. So firstly that, and then the second thing is that I felt like reading the poems, it was a sample of all the things that Larry had chosen to pay attention to. And so it's really interesting exercise in empathy to follow someone else's gaze. What are all the things that they encountered, decided to pause, pick up, and examine? And what struck me about Larry's gaze, as seen through these poems, is that he's dealing with some of the biggest challenges that confront our society, but at the same time, he had the vibrancy and vitality to notice the calla lilies on his wedding day and to write a poem about that. So you can have both. And yeah, I think to meet someone through poetry is to understand what they value, to pay attention to. And so I think when everyone gets a chance to pick up the book and to read it for yourself, but also maybe to read it as an artifact of what a great human being chose to pay attention to.
Thank you. I'm to be up with Camilla. I mean, not Camilla, Tamara Kress.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time spotlighting Tam. Okay, here we go. I can do it. It's working now. Okay.
Yay.
Hello, hello. Peggy, should I begin?
Yeah.
Awesome. So, in the spirit of presence, what arose in this moment is listening to everyone, collecting those seeds and harvesting them. So I thank you, Norma, for your haiku poem that reminded us that silence is a doorway to thanks. And the question here is, what is your doorway to thanks, to gratitude? Peggy playing Black Eyed Peas reminds us that songs get to be a doorway to gratitude. Joe reminding us of our ancestors, wise and well in spirit, those blood, land, and spirit. Camilla reminding us about the planting the seeds of kindness and courage, connecting our unlimited enlightenment. Thank you. Karen with the compassion and action to help birth morning night. And Grace, I want to do a librarian me too to you. Archiving as fun and nourishment. Gratitude for fun and nourishment and archiving. Beth, passing the gift of sound back to Larry. Larry, reminding us of through the poetry of our shared humanity, reflected in nature and in the door is a doorway to gratitude. And then we also have Carol Jewel, shaking, reminding us that gratitude can show up through shaking the temples of heaven and earth in service to wisdom and compassion and awakening to our precious humanity. Emmanuel, turning us towards that also thing that is like so deeply rooted, the forgiveness as the fabric of love. Thank you, forgiveness. Valerie, crossing mercy's bridge helps us to deal with America's racial karma and to tame the beast within us. Gratitude for all things uncomfortable, leading us back to love. Brett, the dance of our ancestors is still alive. Thank you, ancestors, wise and well in spirit. And Radula, may I ask you to come off of mute? I want to make sure I pronounced your name correctly.
Yeah.
And pronounce it for me.
Beautiful. Yeah. Radula.
Okay, thank you. And Radula, this also brings us full circle to Lotus's Institute's next course of Anamkara, valuing the wisdom of intergenerational voices. Thank you, Larry, for valuing the voices of young people. May gratitude illuminate our hearts, minds, and bodies in troubled times, in celebratory times, and in all times. And Anouk reminding us that being kissed by the moon is gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Tam. I wanted Tam to begin and end this section because I wanted to actually read some names and I hope I don't, whenever you do name people, there's a danger of forgetting people. So right now I want to apologize. I might have missed some. But so many gratitudes. First to the Lotus Group, Celeste, Matt, and Muna. Thank you so much. We've had an especially challenging time, and we've had a 7-day practice and a 49-day practice, and we've had a lot. And I appreciate all you've done for all these months to finish this project. Karen, Grace, and Liz, who couldn't be here, she's helping a person pass over right now. Liz was the artist that took Larry's art and wove it into the book, and also made sure each page was beautiful, the way things were set in the book. All of that is thanks to Liz Chambers. Annie and Paul Mahan, I might have the name pronounced wrong. They've been benefactors for us with this whole project, giving us Martha Bullen, Kaylee, and Eric, and Karen and Grace, who started going through journals, and Karen just took back another suitcase full of journals. I found a bunch more poems with this packing. Leslie Brunker, who's been a benefactor to help make this publication happen. Melanie Harris, who couldn't be here tonight, but thank you for the love that has gone from you through us all and the great care you've taken with us. Camilla Majid, my goodness, what a poem, huh? And what a presence. And Camilla, I'm so grateful for all the support you've given me. Joe Riley, our beloved friend, and you'll hear from him again at the end. But thank you so much. He did a 1-day trip to fly into Larry's memorial and help us lead that gathering too. Kara Jewel Lingo, who, thank you. Again, she's known Larry since she was a baby. So we keep taking advantage of that and we keep pulling her in. Such an amazing person. Galen Ferguson, who I don't know if he's here, but wrote a wonderful, for the book, testimonial, Sister Peace, who's been here. Brett Cook, one of our readers tonight. Valerie Brown, who also did a wonderful talk at Upaya last night, will be available on YouTube. Pamela Iho Yotunde, Rima Vesley Flad, Reverend Beth Johnson, Ellie Wiesbaum, again, her students. Ellie took the book to her classmates there and students, and we had quite a few reviewers. So we really did want to make sure that we had people under 30 where we were getting feedback. And so we're so grateful you could be here tonight. Eva Avalos in Botswana, so she's sleeping. Kazu Haga, who great supporter for us. Barbara Casey, Robertson Work, Reggie Hubbard. So happy you could be here and come back and forth. University of Toronto, Diana Para Perez, Tamara Kress, Aurora Joaquin and Sarah Henry, Diane Little Eagle, Tejo, Adam Bucco, Anouk Shambrook, Emmanuel Ward. Does he look like anybody we know? Norma Bradley, and so many others, and in particular to Thich Nhat Hanh and to Larry for this offering that we are so delighted to launch into the world. I remember when our book Love's Garden was written, the advice we were given by medicine friends was to put the book under a tree and imagine the book in all 4 seasons. And so I've been doing that with this book, to imagine it in all 4 seasons, and hopefully helping many people to touch the beauty that's in this book. So Tam, if you could, she's going to complete this gratitude section because she's one of my friends that can really pray.
Yeah. Gratitude, saying thank you is a prayer all of its own. We don't have to be poetic or have the right words, but to say the words thank you with the felt sense in our hearts. So I thank you, Peggy, for reminding us that Sangha is a doorway to gratitude with all of the names that you have just shared. So the invitation as we close isn't more words, but more of a felt sense. Whether you feel the gratitude in your heart or tingle in your body anywhere, check in with your body and see what it feels like in this moment of spending this last hour together, of hearing the evolution of morning nights. I just felt like a warm sensation in my chest. So the invitation is to go to that felt sensation of gratitude. And the only prayer to add with that are the words, thank you.
Thank you, Tam. Tam is one of our faculty folks with Anam Cara and Midnight Path. It's a little pitch for Tam, and we want to bring Joe up for prayers and blessings and closure. Again, thank you, Joe, so much.
This is called Miigwech. It's a thank you song. And Matt, is it possible I could put the lyrics in the chat? And then people could sing along or just breathe along. Oh, thank you. It's in both English and Anishinaabe-Moen, the original language of this land here in the Great Lakes area. So we can continue to ride that wave of gratitude and love that Larry has invited us into. Feel free to move your body as you need. Gamagwechin mishomis, Gamagwechin okamis, Gamagwechin shkakamekwe, Gamagwechin nibi, Gamagwechin in a mishomisak, Gamagwechin in omnakomisak, Gamagwechin shkakamekwe, Gamagwechin nibi. Father, thank you, grandmother, thank you, Mother Earth, thank you, water, thank you, grandfathers, thank you, grandmothers, thank you, Mother Earth, thank you, water. Gamagwechin okamis, Gamagwechin shkakamekwe, Gamagwechin nibi, Gamagwechin in a mishomisak, Gamagwechin in a mnakomasak, Gamagwechin shkakamekwe, Gamagwechin nibi. Mother Earth, thank you, water, thank you, grandfather. question no gamis. Kama question shka kame kwe. Kama question ibi. Kama question inam ashoma sa. Kama question inam no koma sa. Kama question shka kame kwe. Kama question